Right, so let me just share my screen. Right, so good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining in today. Today is the first of our series called E-Meet Your Design or Fashion School. The idea of this, we know that all students are targeting, the fundamental schools that they are targeting, like NIDs and NIFTs, but it's very, very important to keep a plan B ready. And hopefully this plan B at some point of time becomes a plan A. All right. Uh, so you need to have your plan B, and that's one of the reasons why we are inviting various design schools and fashion schools to interact with us, so that number one, you can meet the top management of the school, you can meet the top faculty of the school, you can really understand why that school exists and why you should be considering this school for your admissions in 2022. The other dilemma that a lot of parents and students have is that they just keep applying to so many schools, and at the end of it creates a lot of confusion. So we want you to apply to limited schools, right? Don't apply to everything. Just apply to the few schools that you think are good for you, and thereby give it a serious shot. Go through the application processes. It will be helpful to each and every one of you. So without so today we are having Vidyashilp University that's come in today. We have Professor Arvind, who's heading the school. He's come down before. He's done some workshops with some very, very enlightening workshops. And it's very interesting to see what he has in store today. The focus of today's webinar is to understand why you need to apply to Vidyashilp University for admissions in 2022. If you'd like more information, I will be sharing this link with you. You can click on this particular link you will reach the DQ Edge page, which has information on Vidyashilp University. And you can also click on this link here, which is the application form link, to reach out to them directly. So, Professor Arvind, thank you so much for coming in today. I know you're based in the States for now, so it's really late out there. So thank you for making it get this.
Thank you, Dion.
Sure, and I know you have your faculty here as well, so it'll be great to, yeah.
Sure, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Some of you hopefully have already interacted with me earlier in the workshop that we did, but hello to all the newcomers. I also want to quickly introduce you to my colleagues who are also here on board, and I think they're the only ones with the video on right now, so it's easy to make out. Firstly, there is Patika Ramanujam, who's Associate Professor in the School of Liberal Arts and Design Studies. Monica Bijlani, who's Assistant Professor, if I get it right, and Ajay Sharma, who is the Head of Admissions at Vidyashilp. We also have another colleague lurking somewhere, but he won't come into the foreground, I think. So that's us right now. And if I can put on my slides, I can. Yes, you can see my slides.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can see the full screen mode now, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I shall hand over now to our YouTube superstar, Spatika, to kick off the proceedings.
Okay. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. Hi, and thanks, Arvind, for the introduction, and welcome everyone. And thank you for this opportunity to interact with all of you this evening. And I just want to run you through what is the Bachelor in Design program that we are pioneering at Vidyashilp University. It's really a new age program, and it is with a focus on communication design for the digital economy, right? So yeah, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So this word, digital natives, it also caught my attention. And I just thought, where do I fit amongst the left and the right column? And as much as Arvind says I'm a YouTube superstar, and during lockdown, I tried to do some YouTubing and put out some comedy sketches out there and stuff. I just realized that, I probably am still a digital immigrant, not so much a digital native, which I think all of you students are. And I'm sure, you've always been told that, oh, in our time, we had this, we had real connections, we had real human contact, and we actually used to meet people. And, you don't live in the real world, and you don't, you're all the time on your gadget and all that. But this is the way forward, right? It's your stage from now on. And it's not at all a handicap. Actually, it is a superpower that you have. And the fact that you understand things intuitively, you understand gadgets intuitively, and this is the future, right? Because everything is digital, everything is going digital, right? So rather than thinking, and we're not here to drag you down to the good old ways, but we actually are here to give you a jump start and how you can leverage on this potential that you have. And so how do we do that? Yeah. And we'd like to tell you a little more about how we do that. So the simple thing is the economy is turning into we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So the economy is turning into a digital economy, right? And each and every aspect of our life, right? The other day, I was just joking with somebody that if Amazon decides to come to my house and take back everything, my house is empty. I won't even have a phone, right? Because I'm ordering so much. I'm so used to doing the e-commerce and ordering things online and using the laptop, using the computer, right? So, and for people like you, being and operating in this digital economy, it comes effortlessly, it comes easily to you, right? Compared to us digital immigrants who, we struggle, we really have to search and, what is a search engine? How do we do this? I remember somebody even saying you can go on ClearTax and file your tax returns, and it horrified me. I was like, oh God, how do I do it? But, there I encountered a 17, 18-year-old neighbor's daughter who was like, oh, auntie, I'll just show it to you. And, she just quickly was able to do it. So I think, the future is this, and you are the world leaders. You're going to be the digital economy leaders and innovators of the future, right? So if you still have any doubt about this, I mean, there is enough statistics to show that, already 15% of the world's GDP, yeah, it's the digital economy is contributing to about 15% of the world's GDP, and it's growing even faster. And especially COVID has been an important factor in this, right? Because brands and businesses are shifting more and more to the online mode, the marketing, advertising, everything. It's growing faster. They're on YouTube channels. Yeah, they're on Instagram. We're reading a lot about Instagram influencers. Yeah, so who is creating all this content for them? Obviously, there's a whole bunch of content creators, and apparently 50 million in total. Yeah. But then everybody and anybody wants to call themselves a content creator, but like everything else, it is also professional. It has a professional approach. It needs a professional training, and only a fraction of them are trained and are expert professionals, right? And so the content economy in that sense is already about 1% of the digital economy, and it's about more than 100 million US dollars, right? So yeah, what did I say? Oh, sorry, billion US dollars. So that is a way forward. I mean, it's going to be a digital and a content driven economy, right? So the demand for content creation, the demand for trained management professionals is booming. Yeah, and a huge variety of roles are opening up. Many of them, you can see all the names here. Many of them don't even have names. Yeah, it's constantly changing, it's evolving. And so this is something that, it's being regularly tracked. Yeah, and it's evolving daily. So the next slide is, it'll show you a random LinkedIn job search for content creation in India, over 3,000 positions at all levels. So you can see that there's no doubt about the demand and how important creating good content is, right? So, and content is really the currency of the new economy, right? So just like to play you a video by Neil Patel and on what a content creator and marketer does. So Arvind, can you play?
I'm Neil Patel, and today I'm going to break down the beginner's guide to content marketing. In 2020. Step 1, define your goals. What is your niche? What type of content are you looking to create? What do you want to do with your content? If you don't understand the type of content that you want to create, you're not going to do a good job. Everyone thinks it's just about your audience, but you're the one creating and writing it. And that leads me into the second tip. You need to research your audience. You need to come up with audience personas. What questions is your audience asking? What problems do they have that you can help solve? How can you provide value to them? And by knowing this, it ensures that not only are you writing content that you love, but also that other people want to hear about, which will help you rank higher as well. Tip number 3, do your keyword research. This will show you what's popular in your space, what's not, but you don't just want to go after popular keywords, you want to go after the keywords that are high intent. The 4th tip I have for you is content ideation. You need to come up with topics that cater to your audience. Check out what your competitors are writing. So by doing this, it'll give you a rough idea of what's working and what's not, and it'll break it down based off of social shares, search traffic, and backlinks. Ideally, you want pages, posts, that have a lot of search traffic and social shares, because then you can diversify your traffic sources. The 5th thing I want you to do is create content that is tailored to voice search. It's estimated that roughly 50% of the searches are voice searches according to ComScore. This is important because with devices like Google Home and Alexa becoming more and more popular, you'll see this trend continually increasing. You want to be prepared for it. The 6th thing you need to do is create videos and visual content. It's no secret that visual content and video storytelling is taking over the web. From Instagram to Facebook to YouTube, it's all super popular. And if you don't want to do videos, you can also try podcasts, or you could even try infographics. It's a way where you can use images to tell the story, and that works really well as well. And just to give you an idea, I only create 4 blog posts a month, but I publish over 12 videos a month. I see a trend in which videos are becoming more and more popular, and it's a better way to relate to an audience, to your brand, right? It helps you build that deeper connection. That's why you should definitely start creating videos today if you already haven't started. The 7th tip I have for you, leverage social media. If you're not leveraging social media, your brand's not getting out there. The 8th tip I have for you, follow the EAT formula. EAT stands for expertise, authority, and trust. Google ended up releasing a Medic update a while back, in which they don't want people writing on content that they're not credible for. For example, I'm a marketer. If I start writing about health and when you get fevers and you get sick, should you go to a hospital or not? I'm not an expert on that. No matter how well written, how many backlinks I build, they shouldn't rank that content because that's not my expertise and it can damage someone. Last but not least, build backlinks. If you don't know how to build backlinks, the easiest way is go to Ubersuggest, type in the URL of any one of your competitors, click on the backlinks report. You'll see all of their pages that have a ton of backlinks, who's linking to them, the anchor text. You can use this data to figure out what pages you should replicate, who you should hit up to get those links as well.
Okay. So given all of this background and given this digital economy and content creation for a digital economy, where does Vidyashilp come in? How does our curriculum address this? I'd like to hand over to Professor Arvind Lodhia to explain this further. Yeah.
Thank you. So as you can see, students, the world we are looking at is quite different from the picture you will get in other design schools, especially in the conventional communication or graphic design programs, which tend to be a lot more anchored in the legacy mode. What we are looking at is a very, very rapidly changing business and professional environment where everybody is moving online. Everybody is getting very agile and very, very responsive to the audience, to us, that is, as consumers, and to you as the kind of core consumers, as by virtue of being digital natives. So our program actually is positioned in a very, very kind of unique way, which we hope is something that you will respond to. The skill sets that we have arrived at, really based on our visioning, is to give you good sort of robust inputs in being critical and planetary citizens. Thanks to the environmental crisis and other kind of phenomena, it is no longer possible to just live in your little cubby hole and be designing for the world. You have to know what's happening at the larger scale, and you have to be able to respond to it as well. Then, as Neil Patel helped explain to us very quickly, how to analyze and how to be creative with content creation in any domain. So you have to be so versatile that you can't just be technically specialized. You have to be also specialized in terms of domain-wise content. Of course, the principles of art and science in the visual communication space apply to all of you, and that's something that we also go into. So understanding the art and science in both theory and in practice is something that we aim for. Similarly, fluency in all the technologies, platforms. You heard him talk about backlinks, you heard him talk about search engines or SEO kind of parameters. All these are very, very important and critical determinants of an effective communication strategy in these times, in the coming times as well. So including in the field of design and visuality, we will give you a kind of thorough grounding in the technologies and methods and tools. And last but not the least, you have to develop a competency in planning as well as managing or executing fairly complex design projects from start to finish. That's another important skill set that companies will expect from you. So that's another core priority for us. Now you will see how these learning themes, which you see listed on the left, the first column on the left, run across the entire curriculum, entire 4-year time span. So that's the kind of course matrix for you. And in every semester on the top row, you can see the kind of larger learning objectives that we have framed for you. So on the left-hand side, you see the competencies, the key competencies, and on the top, you see the kind of progressive learning milestones that we want you to achieve semester by semester. And the courses, which form the main matrix, they become the programming for this. And if you take a quick glance at it, I mean, I don't expect you to go through all of them in detail, but if you just cast a glance and look at each horizontal and each vertical, you'll get a sense of how your learning progresses from semester to semester. And trust me, when I say that this curriculum that we have developed has been actually literally applauded by some of the world's top, most eminent design experts and educators. So it's not just something we just came up from the top of our head and are dishing it out. We got it validated and we've had it scrutinized by eminent international design experts. So what you get is the thematic inputs in planetary citizenship, content analysis and creation, science and art of visual design, and other foundational and core topics, which I'll show you in the next slide. And these will get synthesized into actual communication design projects. So if you see the bottom row, that's the integrative labs and studio or project space that runs through the semester. And every semester, you have one major such project where you put all the learning from the top part, apply it into a project mode in the integrative space. So you're always learning, reading, thinking, processing. You're basically doing all of that and applying that. You're applying that into action. You're making stuff. You're trying it out. You're getting user feedback. You're checking out whether you're becoming impactful and efficient or not. That's really as you can see, the warp and weft of our design curriculum. Now, a little more to add to that. If you found that curriculum fairly impressive, that's still only half the story, which is literally amounting to about half of your academic credits. So look at the table at the center. Those courses which you saw on the previous slide were from the design foundation and design major categories, which also includes integrative projects, internship, and capstone project. And if you add up the credits and you see the percentage, that amounts to about 50% of the total coursework. So there's more. There's a lot more than what was shown on the previous slide for you to broaden and deepen your learning. And basically, what we want you to do is to acquire or become superpowered in interdisciplinarity. That's a key word for us. And for that, on the left-hand side, you can see a whole lot of courses which you can choose from, which form the category of general foundation and university core. Now, there's a lot of subjects. Obviously, you can't do all of them, but you can choose from them. And these approximately work out to be like the soft skills and presentation, professional skills or professionalism skills part of your learning. And that amount to about 20% of your total credits that you will pick up. In addition to that, if you go to the right, you will see two more learning opportunities. The first one is a specialization track, which is again part of your design major, which right now we are offering in user experience design and in design research. So this input we have got from our academic advisors and people on our board who are actually in the fairly senior people in the profession, both in India and abroad. And this is the input that we are getting from them in terms of career opportunities and the market kind of demand over the next decade or so. So we are projecting ahead and seeing what will be the skill sets within design that will be really valued in about 4 years' time when you graduate from now. And the current feedback we have is user experience design and design research. But this, as you know, is changing rapidly. So by the time you reach your second year or third year, we might even have something else added to the list. Currently, these are the two specialization tracks available. And last but not the least, you also get to do a minor, which means that you are doing a major in design or in communication design. But in addition to that, you're also picking up a minor in another discipline. And right now on offer are 3 disciplines: marketing, psychology, and data science. Again, these are very, very critical and crucial areas of understanding and knowledge. And if you combine your design skill with these skills from these disciplines, they actually add up to almost like a dual degree for you. You're getting almost a degree in 2 subjects, which combines a specialization as well as a kind of minor or another parallel area of understanding. And that is actually what it takes to be really competent and versatile in the emerging world of content and communication. And that's what we want to prepare you for. In fact, on our website, if you check out the website, there's a section called the Interactive Curriculum Builder. And that's a fun way. It's like a little game, kind of gamified version of your, to make you sort of figure out your navigation, your course navigation. It's a great way to explore and check out all the options that you have, the tracks that you have, that you can actually almost design your own curriculum. You can choose you can make selections from the courses that are available to you at every stage and every semester, and you can create your own unique pathway. So you don't necessarily have to do the same thing that your batchmates are doing. You can make your own, each one of you can actually make your own pathway in response to your own preferences. So what does this all add up to? What can you do as a consequence of this? Let me quickly hand you over to Professor Monica Bijlani.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Arvind. It's just, I mean, listening to all that, though we have been working on it together, but just listening and the way you describe it, it's wow. I wish I was able to choose when I was doing my undergrad. I had so many options, but then I was not a digital native, so I would not have had the awareness to choose. So it is particularly catering to the current, I mean, you all who are there, who have the awareness, who have the bandwidth to be able to make the right choices. Of course, you'll have guidance all through, but that's really interesting. And I always get so excited with this and the way our program is developing. So without further ado, I'll take you over to the next slide. So here is a tangible, actionable, and sellable set of capabilities that you will get only at Vidyashilp. So what you would be able to do first, read and review, summarize almost any kind of text from any field. Write and produce original and engaging textual, audio, and visual content for a given audience on almost any topic. Develop and publish all forms of online content: cartoons, memes, infographics, podcasts, blog and social media posts, picture stories, interactives, animations, videos. Design icons, logos, websites, brochures, exhibits, posters, advertisements, apps, storyboards, presentations for any client. Develop informal instructional and training educational material tailored for any given audience. Develop omni-channel marketing content and data-driven campaigns to create rapid awareness and arouse consumer interest. Work with communities to facilitate their voice and publish it via community media, street theater, social media, radio, video. Develop and write a thesis dissertation on any original research topic in the field of communication. Wow, isn't that does sound like quite a bit, and it's so much fun and it's so much relevant in today's context. Next slide, please. So yes, at Vidyashilp, we are moving away from the typical and outdated graphic design degree that you will find at most other D schools. From jobs in the graphic design boutiques, you will access communication jobs in every sector and domain of the industry. Rather than specializing by medium, you will specialize by the domain of your choice, from vertical to horizontal specialization. Instead of focusing purely on style and form, your focus will be on content, on engagement. That is the real efficacy and impact of the communication. This is also reflected in the evaluation. Graphic design is mostly evaluated by peers, as I say, I like this, or some may say we do not like this. It's peer evaluation. But at Vidyashilp, you will be evaluated on performance by domain experts and audiences. You will be getting feedback from the industry experts. Most graphic design programs feature a 75 to 25 ratio of analog to digital work. In our case, it's the reverse, 75% digital and 25% analog. So that's something really, really contemporary. Next slide, please. So the founding faculty of the New Age Desk at Vidyashilp are accomplished individuals, each with a track record of performance, and the New Age curriculum is built on the cumulative industry connect and experience. Me, Spatika, Arvind, and me, you already saw on the panel and are a little familiar with us. So here we are. We have a lot of other faculty members as well, as you can see on the website if you visit. Next slide, please. So life on campus at Vidyashilp is not just about studies. It has a number of tie-ups with Bangalore's most exciting youth, adventure, arts and sports academies, helping you to get a 360-degree experience of life. So as you can see, there's so many things that you can choose from. It would not be all design or all major, minor. You have learned and gone through those slides and you understand it, but it is also all the more of these activities that you'll participate in. And other than this, we'll also, we are really working on developing a curriculum and also working on its delivery so that you get some time, you get life outside campus as well. You're able to enjoy things that you like to do and you have time to some of those experiences that you would rather have on your own and bring those back to on the table, because we believe in learning together, right? So whatever you bring, we learn from each other, we learn together. So that would be a very important aspect here. And so next slide, probably. Yes. So our career counseling center will help you with finding placement, though we seriously doubt that you would need it, but still. If you want to pursue higher education in India or abroad, or feel ready to launch your own startup, we have the expert guidance and in-house incubator ready to help you chart your future. Right? That's exciting. All of these is quite an exciting journey and quite an exciting how would you be launched when you're setting your foot outside the university. So but this would probably, I'm sure that all of you must be a little curious on how to go about with the process of admission here. So what I'll do is I'll hand you over to Mr. Ajay Sharma, who's our admissions head at Vidyashilp, and he'll guide you through the process. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Monica ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible to all. Yeah. So my name is Ajay Sharma, and I'm the Director of Admissions at Vidyashilp University. So students, I'm here today to talk to you about the admission process and most importantly, how we envision our graduates to be. So students, the next phase of your academic journey, is going to be with university. And this transition from school to university is for sure going to be a huge jump and a significant decision that you as a youngster take for yourself. And trust me, at Vidyashilp University, we are committed to making this journey of yours rich in academics and quite a transforming one. So for which we would like our students to have these 5 attributes as you graduate here with us. So the first attribute is self-awareness. So we want our students to be aware of themselves. So the university experience, the idea is basically that the university experience should enable your own discovery of your own skills, your ways of learning, and how you interact with others. So self-awareness, which is a critical student attribute at Vidyashilp University, and we will try and pursue that as much as possible during your entire academic journey at Vidyashilp. So then along with self-awareness comes confidence, right? So we believe a learner will have a happy confidence if you are aware of your strengths. So we want our students to be confident in their domain knowledge and of the understanding of the context. Yeah. So so then again, see, if you look at confidence will again lead you to resourcefulness. So we would want our students to be capable of resolving issues. We also want our students to be resourceful in the society, in the organizations that you work for, and in the nation as a whole. So basically, if you look at the attributes, so we want our students to be self-aware, we want students to be confident, we want students to be resourceful, and along with that, we also want students who have empathy for those in our society who are less fortunate. So empathy again is a crucial quality, and we will work to help our students in developing it throughout the academic journey here at Vidyashilp University. And finally, the visionary leadership, diligent, committed to the work, and competent to fulfill the undertakings are the qualities of Vidyashilp students that we probably focus to develop during this academic journey. So these are the 5 key attributes that we would be focusing on during these 4 years of your academic journey at Vidyashilp. So can we move to the next slide, please? Yeah. So now coming to the philosophy behind the admission process at Vidyashilp University. So our philosophy as a whole is to select a diverse group of students who are talented, who will contribute to build Vidyashilp, a vibrant campus with distinctive student experience of collective learning and leadership. So also you must note that our admission selection is not based on quantitative equation or weightages. So the grades on the qualifying exams and the test results basically will help us to understand your abilities, and we don't approve or deny admissions just on a single statistics. So then your co-curricular and the extracurricular achievements, interests, community services, all play a major role in the entire admission process, since they provide us with the insight into your personality, your motivation, your social awareness, and the leadership potential that you have. And then finally, your school performance is evaluated to see if you have taken full advantage of the learning and development possibilities available in your school. Yeah, so this basically is the admission philosophy that we have while selecting a student. So it is a very holistic approach that we have towards the entire admission process. So now talking about the admission process, I would like to encourage all of you to kindly take out some time, log on to our website and browse through some usual, useful links pages on our website. So when you get to the admission page, you will first have to register your interest. So which is basically, so you'll have to register on the website. And then once you register, you'll have to fill up the application form. So while you fill up the application form, I will again request you to be very careful before you submit. Read it thoroughly, because that again would be a very important aspect while evaluating a student. And then finally, you pay for the application form. So once you've submitted your application form, the next stage is that we will have a career discovery quiz. Now, this career discovery quiz is a very interesting, again, aspect of the selection process. And there's no right or a wrong answer to this career discovery quiz. So basically, the quiz is to understand your eagerness, your interest, to pursue a particular specialization. It is also to know your personality on a whole, where you can improve. I mean, so basically it will give us some idea as in the areas of improvement where you as a student will be focusing on. Plus, as an institution, we will also know your shortcomings so that we can probably work together and improve those weak areas, right? So it is basically also to know your personality on a whole, where you can improve your personality traits and your emotional quotient as well, right? So once you are done with the test, we will schedule your interaction with the faculty panel. So you interact with the faculty members, and then if you are selected, you get the selection letter, and then finally you accept the admissions, and you accept the admission, and then you make the payment for the admissions, right? So can we move to the next slide? So this is the fee for the Bachelor's of Design program. It's a 4-year program. So first year, it is 4,85,000 rupees. Second year, it is 4,75,000 rupees. Third year, it is 5,03,500. And the final year, it is 5,09,000 rupees. So this is the admission fee for the entire academic year at Vidyashilp University. Right. So I'm sure a lot of you would be having this question in your mind right now about the scholarship. So we have 4 categories of scholarship, which will give you this opportunity to avail 100% scholarship. So the first scholarship is merit scholarship, which is again self-explanatory. So it's a very merit-based scholarship, which is rewarded to students who are academically strong, or if you have done well in any of the state level or national level examination. The next is the enabling scholarship, wherein we recognize meritorious students and believe that financial constraints should not prevent you from applying to our university. The third is the encouragement scholarship, wherein it is for the physically challenged students and students who are all-rounders. So if you are a national level sports player, or if you have some national level achievements, you can apply for this encouragement scholarship as well. Now, the fourth most important scholarship again is that you can still apply for a scholarship while studying at Vidyashilp University. So based on your performance in the first year, second year, you can apply. If you are doing well academically at the university, you can apply for a scholarship in the second year as well. Right. And one very important point I want you to note that 7th of March is the deadline for our this application cycle, and we call it as prompt application cycle. So you can make a note of that, log on to our website, go through the informations which are available, and then if you wish to apply, you can go ahead and do that. So this in a nutshell is all about the admission process. I wish you all the best, and I hope that you take the right decision. And most importantly, I would like to see each one of you at our campus at Vidyashilp University. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. So now we can entertain any questions, doubts, queries.
All right. Right. Thank you so much. I mean, very enlightening. For people who are here, if you'll have any questions, this is your time to ask and reach out to the management and the faculty directly. And we have the admissions representative as well. So please do feel free to ask your questions. Right. So a very interesting flow of your presentation, because we started off with the overall industry, and then we went into other aspects as well. From an industry perspective, all right, what is the kind of demand that you foresee in the next 4 years? How do you see this progressing? The demand for communication designers, how would that progress?
So communication design has always been in extremely high demand. I mean, historically, it's a very, very key function of any kind of business, not just business, even non-profits, even DQ labs. We were looking at your website and checking out, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you're on YouTube. So everybody needs to communicate with their stakeholders, whether it is shareholders, whether it is the government, whether it is the consumers or buyers, whether it is partners and associates. It's a critical function in any enterprise. Even a small enterprise, even a kirana shop needs communication, needs some kind of, of clarification about what it offers. Even informational stuff like price lists and menu cards are all serving a communication function. So it has been a kind of evergreen field in terms of employability prospects. The key thing to note, and that's what we are really trying to respond to as best as we can, is to respond to the technological shift that's happening. It's begun happening over the last decade, but in the last 2 years, thanks to COVID, it has really taken a jump start. It has really leapt forward. I frankly never felt 2 years ago that in a country like India, we would have such a lot of digital enablement of government, of business, and so on and so forth. But we have really made a huge leap. And I mean, in other countries, it's even more so. So internationally speaking, the digitalization of everything is like a given fact. Now, what this is meaning is that this is requiring a new set of skills. So some of the traditional set of good communication, audience research, knowing the kind of personas of the people you're actually engaging with, your customers or partners, fashioning your messages to them or addressing the message to them is like a timeless aspect of the field. But technically, the technologies you work with, the platforms you work with, the feedback systems that you work with, these have drastically changed. Again, in the last 5 years itself, for someone who is more used to the conventional form of graphic design or communication and design education, things are very, very different now. Things are working on evidence and analytics a lot more than before. And even I, frankly, don't understand it completely now. So, I mean, we have a pool of faculty now who bring in the latest know-how, and we have actually made sure that we have live links into the industry so that we keep updating our curriculum. The curriculum you saw, which I shared with you, I forgot to put the asterisks there. It is subject to change, because even in the next 4 years, while the students are completing their BDES degree, the things are going to change, and we are going to have to accommodate the change as it comes in. So we are fortunate to have fairly eminent industry experts, who are at very senior positions on our advisory and governing board levels. So we keep getting really live. Just yesterday, one of the emails we got was on this new kind of management process called design ops. Now, apparently that's becoming the big thing. So we will immediately catch up on that with our advisors and put together courses or inputs for our students to become thoroughly conversant with design ops. And these are all the value additions opportunities that I think are emerging, which we have to respond to.
Brilliant, because so there's a question from Adarshan VP regarding the curriculum, and whether it can be elaborated on a bit. But on this slide, I think Spatika has shared the link in the group, in the chat. But on this, I mean, I was looking through the options that you'll have. You can do a major in communication design and a minor in either data science or economics or marketing or psychology. So that really takes it to a different tangent, isn't it? I mean, it makes a student find their niche, right? But where are they going to get those kind of jobs?
I think the key thing
yeah. So if they get a niche, like
I think jobs. We should. I mean, some of the statistics we shared about content creation, that tells you where the jobs are. Unfortunately, the current focus of design schools is very, very narrow and is looking only at certain narrow areas like marketing or consumer economy or kind of graphic design boutiques and so on and so forth, which are great, but the world is much, much bigger. And if you look at the quantum of content creation going on everywhere, even around us, there's a huge employment opportunity that we are completely missing out on. And I think our program is, we are not so focused on competing with the other graphic design schools for those boutique positions or those very niche positions. We want to actually train our students to become versatile, to contribute to any area. You want a nuclear power plant, we would want to place our student there. You want a kind of grassroots, kind of very, very eclectic environmental research project in the Himalayas, we want our students to be able to contribute there. We are training our students to actually perform the communication function and the content function in any role. And that's why in the listing of capabilities that Monica read out, we want you to be able to learn a new field completely. We want you to develop the capabilities to learn new fields and to create or generate creative and important content for any field. Today, in today's mind, I mean, I remember this very vividly from even my experience in designing, is that designers are basically stylists. So they basically look on somebody else to give the content. Mujhe copy de do, I will then sort of lay it out and make it pretty. That's the job of the designer conventionally. We want to change that. And what we want is that our designer says that you tell me what communication result you want to achieve. I will research and generate the content myself. I will write the content myself. So in our program, there's a lot of emphasis on writing and reading as well, not just styling. Styling is important for packaging and presentation purpose, but what is more important is to know the subject matter itself. And we want to develop that kind of capability in our students.
Brilliant. Okay. Right. So Adarshan VP, the link has been shared with you, and you can, I hope you've got a little more clarity on the curriculum. I mean, I guess the curriculum is there, but if there's anything else that you would like to know, please type it out. Radhika says, do you offer any student exchange program?
It's in the pipeline. We're having tie-ups. We're in the process of making tie-ups. We haven't really gone public with it because we haven't yet sort of done the legal MOUs and stuff like that. But just last week, we had a seminar with the Minneapolis College of Art and Design in the US. In fact, that's part of what I do when I sit in the US as well, is to reach out and make connections with institutions and universities here. We are also talking with other institutions in other parts of the world, in Europe, in Australia and New Zealand, for exchange opportunities. But as of now, I can't officially confirm this. But if you keep tracking our website, and we'll update you, Dion, as soon as we get something on that field, which you can share with the students as well.
Absolutely. There's a question from Jyoti who's saying, do they have any other subjects in liberal arts other than communication design?
Yes, of course. Our sort of the university has a bouquet of courses. You have a BA honors in psychology, in economics. You have a BSc in management studies. You have a BTech in data science. And we are adding more courses all the time. But currently, if you look at the website also, you'll be able to see that we have other courses. In fact, the minors that we are offering, along with your design major, which was listed as psychology, marketing, and data science, they are the result of having all these multiple degree programs being offered in the same building or in the same campus. So we are actually trying to create a learning framework where each student learns from the other student as well, a little bit of the other topics that they are studying or learning. So that's the interdisciplinary framework that we are working at Vidyashilp.
Right. So now tell me something. Now, if say a student takes the BDes program and takes subjects from the liberal arts, maybe the arts Bachelor of Arts program,
Yeah.
what is the recognition of that degree? I mean, do they get a BDes degree, which is recognized, or do they get some other degree? What kind of a degree comes out?
The degree is a BDes degree. So except that it's a BDes degree which comes with a major and a minor. So your major is in communication design, your minor could be in psychology. Now, interestingly, the same thing applies in reverse also. If you have the BS student in psychology, they can do a minor in design, and they will. A lot of them will opt to do that. So we are actually trying to mix up and enrich the learning, because that's the other thing that we are also, academically, we are completely convinced about, that the future of education, of knowledge and of expertise lies in interdisciplinarity. Being these kind of narrow specialists is useful in certain fields only, like extremely high level of science and so on. When you reach your master's level or doctoral level, that's when you really get narrowly specialized. At the undergraduate level, the more you're able to sort of work across disciplines and create value in the fusion of the two ideas, the more value you actually have as a professional in society. And that's really what the programming has been designed around.
All right, perfect. So those who would like to ask questions, please do. We have a few more minutes left, but in the meantime, I just wanted to ask you about the university in terms of the setup. So Vidyashilp University, as I know, has got the approval last year, and in 2022 is your first batch of students. Is it for the entire university, or
Absolutely.
is it for the district?
We were actually scheduled to launch last year, but on account of COVID and other kind of constraints, we decided to postpone our launch to this year. So this year will be our launch year, and the students who join us will be our first batch.
All right. So, I've been talking to a lot of parents and students about, various colleges. So, some of the schools, some of the parents and students say, I want to consider a school which has existed and it's proven itself.
Sure.
But what would you say for yourselves as a new school, right? So there has to be some kind of edge they get when they select a new school over an established one. So what is
Absolutely.
that edge?
The point that we would like to drive home is that being a new school, we are actually, not burdened by legacy. We don't have to do what we have been doing for the last 30 years or 50 years or longer. What you get in terms of, and that's what you see reflected in our curriculum, is that it's a really modern, contemporary, cutting-edge curriculum, which you will find lacking in almost every other legacy institution, because they are sort of trying to carry forward what they've been doing for the last 20, 30 years. People are so habituated to that it's very hard for them to change and to adapt. We have taken this as an advantage, that we don't have to really worry about legacy. We can pick and choose that which is relevant today and has value today, but we don't have to continue it just for the sake of continuing it. And we are also able to plug into the real live demand of the industry as of now. And that's what we have done. We've consulted with practitioners in the industry at all levels and framed what their requirements today are. The biggest complaint I heard, even in my earlier teaching career, from industry was that, we have to spend, by we I mean the industry, they have to spend at least 6 months after the student joins them as an employee to just bring them up to speed on what is going on in the industry at that point of time. So they have to invest training and other kind of resources to actually help the student to catch up with the real world. What our aim in our curriculum now has been to actually address this gap. So our curriculum is pretty much cutting edge. Our students will have very little adjustment or adaptation time when they actually get into the field of practice. Plus, of course, the curriculum is designed around a lot of projects and work opportunities. In other words, is to give them a slice of real life in real time, rather than having them learn, a lot of legacy stuff, which may be good to know, but it has no immediate application value. So that's really the point that I would like to remember.
All right. I think
Monica, Spatika, anything from you on this? I'm sure what Dion has raised is an important concern for parents.
Yeah, also that, the Vidyashilp group has a legacy. The university is a new venture. The reputation and the legacy in education runs for about at least 25, 30 years. And it's because of the success that they've had with primary education and kindergarten that they have been propelled to start the university now, in case Ajay would like to add anything more. So that's also something to keep in mind. And the faculty that, the expertise that Monica and Arvind bring from working with industry and education, they marry both very efficiently. So they straddle both fields. So they know what the industry demands, and so they're able to kind of bring the curriculum to meet those demands. So it's legacy and contemporary. It's the USP, I think, of the university. Yeah.
And of course, I mean, being the founding batch of the university, they would always have that special edge, and of course, they'll be the first one to get all the resources, and there would be, I mean, the special attention that they'll get would always be kind of something that they would always kind of cherish through their 4 years, and they'll be first at everything. So, I mean, of course, they'll be showered with a lot of attention, and all their learning and everything would be quite closely taken care of. So that's something the founding batch always has the advantage of.
All right, thank you for that. We have time for just one last question from Jyoti. Would a science background in class 11-12 student be eligible to apply for your school? Yeah.
Absolutely. Ajay, you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. So yeah, science background students can apply for the program as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as Ajay explained, I think the admission process is fairly agnostic. We don't really have a preference for one or the other background, and we look at your composite skill set and your capability set. So by all means, science background is good. I mean, if you're particularly interested, let's say in a more technical or science-based education, you can, if you look at the programming and the courses available, you can actually pick and choose courses that actually play on your strengths and design your own degree pathway based on that. For example, the minor in data science might be something that is something you are actually very good at to begin with already, compared with other students who might have come from a non-science background. So definitely can work to your advantage.
All right. There's one question on YouTube. What's regarding the fee and the scholarship? If you can go back to that slide and just talk a little more about the fee and the scholarships that you'll offer.
Yeah. Okay. Ajay, are you sharing the screen or should I go?
Sir, you'll have to share it, sir, please.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, just give me a second. In any case, I think most of the information would be available on the website. On the website, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, I mean, we can discuss.
Yeah, of course, of course. Okay, here's the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah. Slide number 20, sir. Yeah, the next.
That's the fee slide, and let me just open it up. All right, here you go. No, sorry, this is the, I reached the. Oops, I skipped one. Okay, here we are. Can you see the fees? Yeah.
This is the fee structure for the entire 4 years program. So first year it is 4,85,000, which includes a security deposit of 10,000 rupees as well. Second year it is 4,75,000. Third year it is 5,03,500. And final year the students will have to pay 5,09,000 rupees. So this is the fee structure for the program. Scholarships, again, we have 4 categories. One is a merit-based scholarship, wherein if you have been doing well academically, and if you've done well in any of the state level or national level exams, you can apply for this particular category. If you are an all-rounder, wherein you have achievements in your co-curricular and extracurricular activities, you can apply for this. This also is for physically challenged students. We have enabling scholarship, which is again for meritorious students with a financial constraint. So these are the 3 categories. The 4th one is basically once you join us, once you complete your first year. So basis your performance in the first year, second year, you can apply for the scholarship. I hope so.
that should be enough.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. So just before we leave, we have this. We have the links here. I'm sharing this website with you. So for more information, you can go on the DQ Edge website. The application form link is here, and this session is recorded on YouTube. And for those who've missed it, they can come here and click on the YouTube link and have a look at the session again. So thank you once again to Professor Arvind, Mr. Ajay, Spatika, and Monica. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come here. And Sham Singh as well. You've been in the background, but thank you for making this happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Sham.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much to
All
everyone.
right.
Thank you so
Thanks and
much.
have a
Thank you.
good evening.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.